Welcome to Impact Point, your number one dial, Impact Business Radio, IBR 92.5 FM. On this program is where we look at issues trending in the news, actions and inactions of those who shape our national landscape, and how all these impact positively or negatively on Nigerians. My name is Ibrahim Shita. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, provides in the fourth schedule highlights some of the main functions of local governments in Nigeria. As can be seen, the various functions and responsibilities of local government are quite enormous and demanding. The tragedy of this situation is that local governments have very limited and circumscribed sources of revenue to enable them execute meaningfully and effectively some of these functions and responsibilities assigned to them. Today's edition, we'll be talking about local government. Where are our local government administrations? Of course, local government as government closest to the people are supposed to be to provide basic services and projects to the communities at the grassroots. Though revenue from the federation account is relatively high these days, the expected impact on the people in terms of provision of services and projects to the people are not commensurate with the allocations received. Instead, federal government in Nigeria is a glorified local government that performs all the roles that none of its business. Well, with the current fiscal allocation sharing, each state gets 0.75% of the federation revenue, while each local government gets 0.02% and federal government gets 52%. You ask yourself, what capital project can local governments execute with 0.02% of the FARC allocation beyond paying salaries? That is even when they can with the current Nigeria realities. In fact, many Nigerians are more concerned about federal government's budget breakdown, with no idea what their state government nor local government budget breakdowns are. Sadly, the Senate preaches patriotism, but settle for foreign official cars worth millions in the time of the country's economic recession. We also blame our leaders. We blame them too for wrongdoing, corruption, mismanagement, etc. But the question is, how much have we done to cleanse ourselves of corrupt acts, dishonest means of livelihood, and bad attitudes? How much? For instance, quite recently, I was at an ATM at Iwo Road here in Ibadan. A young man in front of me had just finished drinking from a bottle and he threw it straight on the floor. Meanwhile, there was a trash can right in front of him, less than a meter away. Should this carefree attitude be attributed to ignorance or stupidity? You answer that. I'm pretty sure if I asked the same guy, why is the country so dirty? His reply would be Ajimobi is not doing so well in this regard, or Buhari is not performing, or our leaders are corrupt or something similar to these. So I would like you to send your comments on our feedback mechanisms. Do you know your local government chairman? What is your rating of your local government this year? Good, average, or bad? Okay, to discuss issues about local governments and some other things that are very related to it, I have in the studio with me Pastor Akin Alamu. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Pastor Akin Alamu, he was the chairman of Egbeda local government between 1999 and 2002. In 1991, he was a director of Oyo TCTC, Trans-City Transport Company. Welcome once again.
Thank you very much.
So as the program goes on, we would like to have your views on the issues that attract our attention, hence are brought to your hearing. Without further ado, you were one time the chairman of Egbeda local government, 1999 to 2002 precisely.
Yes, please.
That was about 15 years ago.
Oh, yes.
You left office.
Oh, yes.
And of course, 15 years is not a joke. So what do you see has happened to your country, Nigeria, since then?
Thank you very much. This country, Nigeria, it appears Nigeria is not moving forward since then. Everything is stagnant. What can you say in Nigeria is moving forward? Is it electricity? Is it road infrastructure? Is it employment? Nothing is moving forward. And this is rather unfortunate. And we have to pray for the country. All these lapses depends on leadership. Nigeria, it appears there are no more wise men. There are no more wise men. It was with wisdom that Joseph ruled Egypt, even when he was a foreigner in that country. So I wonder why the leaders in Nigeria cannot sit down. How will you say Nigeria is moving forward when salaries are not paid? It is, you can't just imagine for somebody to say he's a leader, whether president or governor, in a country and people's salaries are not paid for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months. What are the leaders doing? Are they human beings? It is unimaginable. We talk of currency.
Okay.
It's not current anymore if salaries are not paid. They don't receive their currency, they don't receive their salaries for the job they do. So nothing appears to be moving forward in Nigeria. No, development is no longer going on anywhere.
Well, there seems to be nothing working in this country, just like you say. No money, no water, no good governance, no, not even love, not even reasonable power supply. Why has it gone this so bad?
You know, I said it appears there are no wise men anymore in the country.
And when you say there are no wise men, what are you trying to say?
What I'm saying is that we employed workers. We cannot even, plan how their salaries will be paid. The fact that we had oil, the fact that the price of the crude oil has gone down is not enough excuse for salaries not to be paid. It is because the leaders are not patriotic. It is inhuman. It is because there is no love. I can't imagine somebody to be a head of state or head of a country and seeing his people working, laboring, having wives, children, and you don't care whether they eat or they don't eat. Where is the love? Where is the wisdom? Where is the feelings? We should be sentimental about
before
the life
we talk
of our
about
people.
the present state of Nigeria.
Yes.
Just like I said, in 1999 to 2002, you were the local government chairman of
please.
Egbeda local government.
Yes, please.
What were your scorecard? What was it? What were those things you did then that are not even replicated now?
Thank you very much. I thank you very much for this question. Let me tell you the problem of local government. Local governments are given responsibilities for creating roads within the local government for farmers to carry their products to the market, for building abattoirs for cow and meat selling, to provide markets for the people, to provide toilets and borehole water for the people, and build classrooms for our pupils. But these are responsibilities given. But the instruments to perform these responsibilities are not there. You don't give them power to generate fund. But coming to my scorecard when I was at Egbeda local government, before I became a local government chairman, I was a civil servant in Oyo State. I retired. I was doing my own business, and through friends, I became a politician. When I got to the local government, the experience I had when I was a civil servant I put it to play. For instance, I discovered that we need to generate revenue before we can perform effectively. If you look back, if you will remember, during our time, that was the time when the slogan zero allocation was coming in. That is, there was no money to execute project. The federal crude oil prices at that time was also very low. And the revenue coming to the state and local government from the federation account was very low.
So you didn't have to rely on the federal government?
We could not rely entirely on federal allocation. If you look back, find out from the local government, I was the only local government that made a law which was gazetted in Oyo State Government Gazette.
What was the law about?
The law is about collecting money from trailers coming to the Nigeria breweries to collect finished products. You will see several lorries, trailers coming into the local government, into the Nigerian breweries premises. We should be generating revenue from these trailers. The law I made then when I was there, which was approved by the governor and Chief Kole Osho, who was the secretary to the government then, was that every trailer coming in should pay certain amount.
To whom?
To Egbeda local government.
Okay.
Now, that was then. If you now go to that Alakia area, you will now see several trailers carrying cement, Portland cement, Dangote cement, trailers coming into the Nigerian breweries carrying beers and other products. Nobody is generating revenue from these trailers. They are just coming and going. But in my own time, I made sure that we were generating revenue. We had problem implementing the laws. Some people even use the powers in the state to weaken our power then. But we tried as much as possible. I was making effort that the new Gbagi market, Bola Ige International Market, is in Egbeda local government. I see no reason why the local government should not be generating revenue from that market. If people are pushful, in fact, I was negotiating with the state government that that particular market should belong to Egbeda local government under the constitution. But you know, the local government is under the state government. And anybody that is benefiting either from your foolishness or your weakness will not want you to be wise. Or even if they have power to weaken your influence, they do it. So they tried to make sure that that plan to take over the local government was frustrated somehow by the power that be. So, but it was a continuous exercise. If those in the local government, the other the administrations that succeeded me had pursued this, well, they would have gotten somewhere. Even if you don't have the entire market under the local government, certain percentage, certain collections should be allowed in over 10,000 shops in the in that market. But today, as of today, the local government is not generating any revenue from that Bola Ige International Market.
Okay.
This is unfortunate.
You mentioned sometime while we are actually having a chat, you talked about the housing project, which you did during your administration.
Yes.
Tell us about the housing project, how you came about it and what it really was about.
I was coming into that when you asked for my scorecard when I was in Egbeda local government. There was an expansive land of about 10 acres at the back of the sawmill that was about to be moved, at the back of SDP political building, which the local government is using now. The land was there, and it was not used by anybody. In fact, I can say vagabond and the criminals were using the place. Then I approached the governor then, Alhaji Lama Adesina, who was always ready to listen to us, I approached the governor and he handed over the land to Egbeda local government. And we laid out that land. We had about 50 plots of land there. Even though there was no money, we were able to build 25 two-bedroom houses in that place. Out of that 25 buildings, I earmarked one for female youth corpers to be used.
Okay.
One was earmarked for male youth corpers. Another one was given to immigration department. But as at today, those well, the houses are no longer available. They are already sold by subsequent administration. So you see, I don't want to go into that. But that is part of our scorecard.
In this 1,000 units, federal
Yes.
government bought 10 units.
Yes, federal government bought 10 units from us. Yes, the then director of SSS in Oyo State, when he came during the launching of the opening ceremony of the building by Alhaji Lamadeshina, the director of SSS in Oyo State saw it and said, what a beautiful project.
What was the intention of the federal government?
They said we should sell 10 of the buildings to them for the SSS staff to be using it as their staff quarters. I initially turned down the request, but when I discovered that the local government needs security and anywhere the SSS staff are located, security in the place will be improved upon. So we agreed and sold 10 to the federal government.
The remaining 11
Well,
or 12 units,
yes.
what happened to them?
Yes, we allocated these ones to people in the local government. The other plot undeveloped were also allocated to people within the local government.
This housing project was your brainchild,
Yes,
wasn't
please.
it?
Yes.
How many did you allocate to yourself?
Well, I have only one there. And you see, I told you I've been a civil servant. I knew what could happen when I leave. So, and it did happen when I left, that the subsequent administration were so much interested in that my project, that anybody that comes to the local government will first ask for the file of that project. All of them have been asking for the file, and they knew that I got only one plot, and I paid fully for that one plot which I had in the estate.
Okay, well, if we want to look at the issue of one of the functions of local government is the provision of good health care.
Yes.
How is it at the moment?
Thank you very much. You see, during my term, before I came into government, we had plans of what we were going there to do. Immediately we got to Egbeda local government, we discovered that many villages did not have maternity centers. Then what can we do to improve the health standard of these people, our people? Then we decided to refurbish one of the cars in the local government and turned it to an ambulance. We employed a medical doctor. In all local governments before that time, they did not have qualified medical doctors. The health sectors were being manned by midwives and nurses.
Okay.
But when we got in, we discovered that we needed a qualified medical doctor. And so we employed a qualified medical doctor. And when the governor of Oyo State then, Alhaji Lamadeshina, saw what we did, he directed, and in fact, he employed medical doctors for all the local governments in Oyo State.
So do you see the health centers presently in each local government in Oyo State as really performing up to the task?
Well, not up to the task. Not up to the task.
Why do you say that?
I do not visit all local government, but from what I see generally, I discover that there is not enough revenue for them to perform effectively, as some might even want to. For instance, there should be more medical centers in all local governments, which is not the case. Even the ones that are there are not properly equipped with drugs and necessary machineries for the doctors to perform effectively. So the performance of local government as at today is not satisfactory. It may not be due to their own fault, but due to lack of fund. You know what is happening as regards funding of local governments.
Well, so you, as it is now, the current situation of Nigeria is something you are going to blame somebody about. It's something one cannot write him about. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, yes.
But President Muhammadu Buhari said that Nigerians, they are fond of emphasizing the bad narratives about the country. He said Nigerians never see anything good in their country. Was the president right?
Who will see, with all due respect to the president, who will see anything good in a country where salaries of workers are not paid?
Is it the fault of the president?
It is the fault of the rulers of the country, including the president. Britain, which we know, are they depending on oil? Can't we, what we call currency is supposed to come in and go. If you create an enabling environment, people will pay tax. You'll be able to pay workers. Workers will perform better.
So are you saying that it was wrong when we shifted our attention to oil when it was booming?
It was wrong. It was wrong. Most of the development in Western region were not done with oil money. Were not done with oil money. Go to my own house now. I have my own garden at the back of my house. It's not only we talk, we emphasize a new system of farming, mechanical farming. That is true. But not everybody can do that. But everybody can have a small farm. Everybody can have a small farm. You can plant the maize that your family will eat and you will still sell some. You can plant vegetation at your backyard.
You are blaming the leaders for the woes of this country at the present time.
Who else are we to blame?
But you don't talk about the people, because many Nigerians, we are more concerned about federal government budget breakdown with no idea what their state government, the local government budget breakdowns are. Is this also not an effect of over-concentration of power at the center?
You see, we have to blame the leaders for the woes of the country. It is the leaders that will give directives. It is the leaders that will give examples. It is the leaders that are in charge of the resources of the country. If some things are going bad, that sometimes you just have to reluctantly mention some. You can see the level of corruption in this country. You can see what is going on presently.
But all of these things are happening under our nose as people. We are watching them. We watch them do all of these things. When we see them, we glorify them. When we see them, we praise them. We sing praises to them. You're not talking about the people.
Let me say one thing. Poverty. A Yoruba proverb says, somebody that is hungry
is an
angry man. So
does it apply in Nigeria?
There's another Yoruba proverb which says, "Ebi ń pa mí ọlọ́ṣẹ́ ń kiri. Nígbà tí mi ò tí ì wẹ̀, no báwo ni màá ṣe wẹ̀." I am hungry. Somebody is selling soap. I have not put something in my stomach. You see, why somebody is hungry and he sees somebody that will feed, he will first eat that money. And he will first eat that food. Then even whether the source of the food is legitimate or not, he's hungry. This is the problem of Nigerians. The leaders are not giving good examples to the people. I can see. Let me give you one instance.
Okay.
There was a time I reported a case to the Nigeria police, and the way they handled the case, I was highly impressed. It was professional.
You weren't expecting it.
I wasn't expecting it. I didn't expect that the police could do such a good work, but they did. Notwithstanding that, this thing affects the environment. They perform creditably well, and I praise them for it. For this, it's not that Nigerians are bad. It's because the people are bad. That when something is white, the Nigerians will want the police to turn it to black. And when the police fails to do this, they will accuse the police. You see, it is, if what the police have done, they have given me impression, and I will keep saying it, that Nigerian police are not bad.
Okay.
As we say most of the time.
Pastor Akin Alamo.
Yes.
You're still onto Impact Point on Impact Business Radio, IBR 92.5 FM, Nigeria's first and only business radio. On the program is Impact Point. Yes, Pastor Akin Alamo was one-time chairman, local government chairman, Egbeda local government in 1992 to 2002. Have you gone to our Facebook page? Have you been to our WhatsApp? The message is there. Do you know your local government chairman? What is your rating of your local government this year? Good, average, or bad? You can always tweet to me too at Ibrahim Shita. That's IBRAHEEM Shita, SHITTA. You can also WhatsApp me on 0813-815-1662. We still have so much to talk about. Pastor Akin.
Thank you.
Do you believe we still have local governments existing in Nigeria?
we in some places, we have local government existing in Nigeria on paper.
On paper. You were making a point, talking about whether maybe there is any existing local government in Nigeria, particularly Oyo State, especially now that we have the state government, controlling local governments in Oyo State. It's quite funny when we have caretaker chairmen. They are supposed to be elected, but unfortunately, they have been appointed. What are your sayings to this?
The general saying is that he who pays the piper dictates the tune. When local government had been turned to just the backyard of the state government, when you have a backyard, you can use it the way you want. Local government has become an extension under the state government. You
were trying to say something concerning the glorified local government that we have, which is now being controlled by the state government, even the federal government. The kind of allocations you get, the way and manner you generate revenue. What's your overview?
Let me say this. There has been no election in the last 6 years.
In Oyo State?
In Oyo State. I believe, this is personal, I believe that this time, this governor will conduct election into the local government.
So the state government said that its election will be taking place in February.
I believe him this time that he will I'm not a member of the party, the APC, but I believe that he will conduct the election. How fair it will be is another thing. But at least people will know that we elect these people into the office, and they will be able to talk to them. A caretaker appointed by the governor is not responsible to the people. He will only do whatever is asked to do. And this is why the revenue coming from the federal allocation goes to the state, and in most cases the state will dictate the project that will be performed by the local government. Even sometimes the state will perform these local government functions on behalf of the local government, and they will have deducted the money from the allocation coming from the federal government. So in most cases they are unable to do anything because they were just appointed, they were not elected. So that's why I said he who pays the piper dictates the tune. But concerning revenue allocation, it is not that the sharing formula is not the sharing formula that is all that bad. It's the fact that these allocations are not going to the local government.
Why do you think they are not going to the local governments?
It is the states. If you look at the constitution, the governors are exploiting the loophole in the constitution that says local government will exist at the it's under the state.
If you say the allocation is something that is probably not the problem, but the way and manner it is being administered is the way that is the problem.
Yes.
When you have each state getting zero, according to this current fiscal allocation, you have a state getting 0.75%, you have local government getting 0.2%, and federal government getting 52%. Tell me, how do you want to make use of all of these? How do you want to reach the people? How does these government policies, how does the federal government governance get down to the grassroots?
The problem of Nigeria is, the greatest problem is corruption.
Do you not think another problem is the issue that people are calling for to restructure this country?
For me, 100% Nigeria should be restructured.
Restructuring, fiscal restructuring, geographical restructuring. What kind of restructuring are you talking?
The one I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
Oh my. You see, Nigeria cannot move forward under the present political structure. Let me tell you this. Tribalism, ethnicity, and disloyalty of the people.
Well, disloyalty of the people.
You see, look.
The
thing starts from the federal government.
Well, should we now blame Agunye Ronsi, who changed the federal system of the First Republic to the unitary system in 1966?
He had good intentions. But the present operators, what do you say of the present operators? When the head of state, let me say this, when the head of state was to appoint people into various offices, you know what happened. And the head of state told us that he appointed the people he trusted, not minding that they came from his own geopolitical zone. But now you know what is happening. If the people the president trusts and appointed are now doing what they are alleged to be doing, it is an indictment on the one who said he trusted them, he appointed them. So, you see, this loyalty to the country is everybody's responsibility. The crisis in the South, they have their points, but it is the leadership. What Agunye Ironsi did, he had good intentions.
Since you left office in 2002, do you still keep your interest in politics?
Yes, I do.
You're still a politician?
Well, I would say yes.
Of course, you also decided to be churchman after you left politics by establishing a worship center.
Oh yes.
In Ifo, Ogun State.
In Lagos and in Papalanto, Ogun State.
Ogun State. What motivated this?
You see, I attended an interview about 2 weeks ago, and this question was asked, and I said we have examples of people who are in religion, Christians, taking part in politics. An example, a classical example, was Papa Emmanuel Alanyade in Oyo State. He was a church, he was a leader, he was loved by people, and he played politics with Chief Awolowo, with Uncle Bola Ige and the likes. And in all the crises that people had when militaries took over government, Papa Alanyade was never detained for a day.
So he is your motivation?
Yes, please. I lived with him for some time.
But it is said that politics and religion can't really go together, simply because it is believed that politicians are liars. And here you are, a pastor and a politician.
That belief is what is creating problem in Nigeria. It is only when you have churchmen, Christians and good Muslims in taking part in politics that improvement will be brought into politics. If godly people are not there, the evil, more evil will be perpetrated. It is only godly people that will sanitize politics, that will bring sanity and good governance to this country. But if people, the fear of God is the beginning of understanding, let me tell you this. And God is love. And whoever is of God will also love his fellow human beings. So it is because there is no love that people want to steal billions and billions and billions of naira. What do they want to do with it? People who are doing that, they are not praying that their own children will succeed.
Honorable.
Because if somebody wants a child to succeed, he will not get money that they cannot finish.
Honorable Pastor
Yes, please.
Akiade. I didn't call you that all day. I just call you now. Honorable Pastor Akiade, you will be celebrating your 70th birthday on Saturday the 24th. How does it feel like looking back in time?
Well, looking back, I always wish I am 40 years old so that I will be able to face the challenges which I see, but due to lack of agility and efforts as a youth should have. So I see that a lot of things need to be improved upon. A lot of examples need to be shown to our people. You see, if somebody is a salary earner and he can, during the leisure period, during the free period, you can have a little firm, maybe on Saturdays only, things will improve for this country. You see, it is individuals, as the government is saying, although they are not showing it, I'm not convinced, but individuals must sit down and think on how he or she will survive in this country. The government is not ready to help anybody. It is individual that will help him or herself. With a little cutlass and a little hoe, you will do something to feed your family. Especially the way things are going. I pray that wise men will come to government whereby they will look for means of paying the people that they employ.
Well, when you talk about employment, because you want to take me back to local government issues, and the way we employ their staff, I know they used to undergo trainings.
Yes.
You bring them, you give them appointments, you bring them on board, you give them a job based on qualifications. But now nepotism, favoritism is what is now rampant in governance.
When you get to local governments now, you will see that the staff in almost all local governments are not doing anything. Because people are not, the people to direct them, to give them instructions, they are not doing what they are supposed to do. They are not getting their salary. If somebody has not taken salary for 5 months, you want him to be punctual in the office, and there is no transport money,
okay,
and you don't even have a schedule of duty for him to perform. You can't get the best from such a person.
Pastor Akande, do you know your local government chairman?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yes.
Do you have a chairman?
We do. Well, a caretaker chairman.
Okay,
yes,
so what is your rating of your own local government, in which you used to be a chairman? What is your rating of your local government this year? Is it good? Is it average or bad?
Thank you very much. The chairman of my local government is a very young man. I am not in a position, let me be frank to you, to assess a performance because revenues is not being released to him.
Did they release revenue to you? You just said that you generated revenue.
Well, I'm talking of overall. Yes, concerning generation
and
of revenue.
I'm talking about your local government.
Yes. Well, talking about, I don't want to come here to indict my own chairman. But I know
neither should you use double standard.
I don't understand what you mean by using double standard. I know that, look, they are not giving weapons. They are not giving instruments to perform in the office.
Okay.
If somebody has the resources to perform and is not performing, I will be in a position to say, oh, you are not doing what you are supposed to do.
Okay, let me quickly take this message. This is saying, Gbemisola Oluwatobi from Akobo. It is a great pleasure to be part of this program this afternoon. Akobo. Akobo is under Lagelu local government. Left to me, I don't think the local government is working. I've not seen anything done at all. At the end of the day, they will combine people off for votes with different methods. They have not done anything, most especially concerning the road. Do you agree with Gbemisola?
I agree with him 100%. They have not done anything that is worthwhile because they were not elected and their revenue allocation is not going to them directly. So you can't assess somebody whom you don't place in a proper place to perform. The encouragement is not there. The instrument is not there. The power is not there. But I can only advise. I can only advise that local government chairmen should sit down. When they get to the local government, they should consult the elders. How are we to run this local government? How can we generate revenue? What are the needs? What are the aspirations of our people? Who can help, irrespective of political leaning?
Okay.
So it is only when they do this that they will be able to satisfy their people.
Thank you very much, Honorable Pastor Akande Alamu. You've been the chairman of Egbeda local government between 1999 and 2000. So thank you very much once again for coming on Impact Point.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Okay, let me quickly wrap up with this. In a democracy, power ultimately belongs to the people. Therefore, the people are urged to use their civic rights purposefully and judiciously. In a situation where the people are conscious of their rights and obligations, the burden of governance is greatly reduced. Of course, at the end of the day, responsible leaders are always installed from such a citizenry at the local government to advance the cause of local government. On the other hand, an uninformed citizenry contributes greatly to the installation of inept and irresponsible leadership.
Yes.
So I'm advising you, my listener, to use your franchise effectively and diligently in ensuring the election of responsible and responsive leaders in local governments. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I work closely with Timi Lenya Bayomi and also Rafiat Salami, who is also assisting in production. Then, Kuduz, thank you so much for being behind the camera. Do you know your local government chairman? How do you rate your local government this year? Good, average, or bad? My name is Ibrahim Shita. See you next Tuesday on Impact Point on Impact Business Radio, IBR 92.5 FM. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.